What's up guys, it's Kara here, and I wanted to do a different video for you guys today. I thought it would be fun to talk about everyone's favorite protein bar, which fastest growing company I believe is Quest Bar. Those of you that watch this channel I'm sure have heard of these bars, have seen them, probably eat them maybe on the regular. So today I wanted to talk about this bar and kind of like break it down for you and go through the ingredients on this product and kind of break it down for you a bit. Nutritional supplements and protein bars, I think people get pretty confused by them and don't really understand what to look for when they're looking at a product. How to look at the ingredients and know what it means. So I'm just gonna kind of go through this today and give you the quick and dirty on what a Quest bar really entails. So I picked out my favorite Quest bar, which is the chocolate chip cookie dough, and I just want to quickly mention a few things you're going to see on products like this. You're going to see some nutritional claims present, and that is totally allowed, and any company would be dumb not to make nutritional claims if they can on a product. It helps with marketing. So one of the first claims they have on here is that it's gluten-free. I mean, that's smart to put on there right now. Gluten-free is a huge diet fad. It is a diet fad. It's also necessary for certain people, but it's a pretty popular diet fad too. It notes that there's 14 grams of fiber in it, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 21 grams of protein. It also notes that there's no sugar added in this product, so that's something some people look for too. I think it can be kind of confusing when people aren't sure how much sugar to look for in a product. In the ingredient section, sugar can be identified by several different names, so it's not going to always say sugar, and actually half the time it doesn't. So ingredient labels can get kind of confusing. And this product also notes that it has 4 grams of net carbs, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. I do have another video you guys can look up in my dietitian talks regarding net carbs. Some people utilize net carb. It's absolutely a claim that can be made. However, if you are someone tracking macros, I will just say real quick, if you're putting this in MyFitnessPal for a Quest bar, I would enter the Quest bar for its entire nutritional facts. So I would enter it for the full amount of carbohydrates and count all of the carbohydrates in this product. Net carbs comes from not digesting some of the fiber. Go into more detail in my other video, but you don't always know how much you're digesting and not digesting. So I only ramble on that because I know someone will ask. I would suggest adding all of the carbs if you're counting it in your macros. So those are the claims on this product. What I want to do is go through the actual ingredients on it and kind of break it down what's in here. One of the reasons why I want to do this is because if you look at the, I don't know, thousands or how many ever other protein bars are out there on the market, Quest was one of the first products, at least that I found, that didn't have an ingredient profile this long. I mean, you could pick up any protein bar, it didn't matter what it was, and the ingredients were just like a paragraph long. And half of them you probably couldn't identify, at least the average person probably wouldn't know what was in that bar. And here you're trying to look for some type of nutritional, something nutritious, quick, on the go, and you're getting these products that have literally 50 ingredients in them. So I really do feel like it wasn't until Quest came around that they're one of the first protein bars out there that had a surprisingly great ingredient profile on them, which is why I'm talking about this today. So one of the first, and let me tell you first too, with ingredients and looking at an ingredient profile, ingredients are listed in order based on the quantity that it's in the product. So that's one thing you can kind of keep in the back of your mind when you're looking at ingredients. The first ingredient listed is going to have the highest amount over any other ingredient listed there. So, you know, if you're looking at a protein bar, what do you think you would want the first listed ingredient to be? Probably not sugar, probably not artificial sweetener, probably not chocolate or whatever else. You're going to want the first ingredient to be protein. So take a look. That first ingredient is going to be a good indication of what is mainly encompassed in that product. And one thing to be careful with, for those looking at protein bars, or when you're just looking at protein content, take a look at the ingredients and see where the protein's coming from, because that can make a difference. And you'll find that a lot of products end up having their protein come from soy protein, and that, you know, the research is still kind of conflicting on soy protein and its benefits. So the first ingredient on this product is a protein blend. And in parentheses it says milk protein isolate, and then a whey protein isolate. So that's the combination that they're using. The first ingredient in this protein bar is protein blend. So thumbs up for that, because check out the protein bars, not everything out there will have that as their first ingredient. And just to mention too, on this product, I counted out a total number of 13 ingredients. So that's actually not bad when you look at the ingredients on it. You can manage it. You can read through it in a relatively quick amount of time, and you can make sense of those ingredients. So number one being protein blend. Number two, the second ingredient in this, so your first thing that encompasses it is that protein blend. Number two is the soluble corn fiber. This is actually a change from Quest's previous nutritional facts. They've changed their formula a few times. So the soluble corn fiber actually is very interesting. You guys can look that up. That is where Quest gets most of its protein from within this product. This product yields a total of 14 grams of dietary fiber, as I had mentioned. So there's different types of fiber out on the market. There's normal dietary fiber that we get from foods, and then there's what we see called functional fibers. And they're very huge right now, and there's tons of different types of functional fibers. And there's a good purpose for them. The reason being is the majority of us don't get enough fiber in our diets. And if you actually track in MyFitnessPal and you have a day that maybe you don't eat a Quest bar, for those dependent on Quest bars, take a look at the amount of grams of protein you're getting in your diet. The average American only gets maybe half the recommendation if they're lucky. So for women, we should be aiming for at least 25 grams of protein. Men should be aiming upwards of 30 to 35 grams of protein throughout the day. So take a look and see how you're doing in that department. So functional fiber is out there in the market because it is necessary, because folks aren't eating enough fiber. And if we're not eating enough fiber, there's a lot of bad things that can occur. The soluble corn fiber actually does function very similar to a dietary fiber that you would get from fruits or whole grains or legumes. It has a lot of the same good benefits. It's not really absorbed in your small intestine, but there is some fermentation that goes on within the gut in your large intestine. Like I mentioned, not all of it is absorbed. Some of it is, some of it isn't. That amount I can't tell you, which is why I tell you to track it all. But actually the benefits of insoluble corn fiber are very similar, like I said. And actually the beautiful thing about them too is when you think about increasing the fiber in your diet and eating more fiber, some associated symptoms with that can be gas, abdominal cramping, bloating, pain, some kind of general discomfort can come along with eating more fiber in your diet. And actually the studies that have been done with the corn fiber don't show any of those types of side effects. And I do eat Quest bars quite regularly, and I can attest that, when you look at the fiber, it can look a little scary, like, oh my God, am I gonna wanna eat this and be in a room full of people? You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't give any of those bad side effects, which is nice. So you have to be careful because the different functional fibers have different side effects. So when you look at a functional fiber like inulin, I'm not saying insulin, inulin or chicory root, holy shit. I stay away from those or take them in a very small dose, because those will cause some major GI upset. Whereas the corn fiber, even when you take it in a higher amount, it does not produce those side effects. So it's actually a really great functional fiber, and I'm pretty pleased that Quest started putting this in their product. Okay, next ingredient we have on here is almonds. Very natural product, it's a raw product. Almonds, you guys know what they are, so you can look at that on a label and recognize it. Awesome. Next ingredient, water. Again, we know what water is. Great, we like that. Next ingredient, unsweetened chocolate. This is a bar I'm looking at is the chocolate chip cookie dough, so there's gonna be some different things in here. Unsweetened chocolate, that's pretty natural, again, naturally derived. We also have the next ingredient is natural flavors. What natural flavors means is typically you will see natural flavors on tons of things. You'll see it on tea, if you buy tea. You see it in tons of different products. So what does natural flavors mean? It's really hard to say for any of those items what exactly is entailed with the natural flavors, but it basically just means that they've taken a product and extracted some of the flavors from it and then used it as an additive back into the product to add some flavor to it. What they used, we can't say. I don't know. And that's true for anyone using natural flavors in a product. The next ingredient on here is Urethral. Urethral is part of what makes up a couple grams of fiber in this product, but Urethral is actually a sugar alcohol. Again, there's different sugar alcohols. Some of them can cause some discomfort. I don't find that this one really does cause any issues. Urethral is, when you compare it to like sucrose or sugar, it's about 60 to 70% times sweeter. So it really enhances the sweetness of a product without adding all the calories. Urethral is basically a non-caloric food additive. So you don't absorb the majority of urethral. So you're not gonna actually have the same glycemic response from it or gain the same amount of calories, say if they added sucrose to this product, which is why you will see a lot of supplements or protein bars add these types of products in there. And there's a lot of research on urethral. It's not unsafe to use whatsoever. The next product on here is cocoa butter. Again, very natural. That is just the fat that is derived from the cocoa bean, basically. So that adds a little fat to the product. The next ingredient is palm oil. Again, that's just a vegetable fat, another fat added to this product. You're gonna need some fat in a protein bar. You gotta be careful with protein bars. Some of them can be like 20 grams of fat. But in order to, number one, hold the product together and add flavor. Fat adds some good ass flavor to it. So there's gonna be some fat in these products, and that's okay. I do like Quest that it has a nice balance of carbs, fat, and protein, which is hard to find. You see some protein bars out there that the fat content is higher than the protein content. For me, that's usually a red flag. We all have different things we look for on nutrition labels, but if I'm going for a protein bar and the fat is higher than the protein, probably not what I'm looking for there. So I like looking for that nice balance. I said palm oil. Next one is sea salt. You're gonna find some type of salt in most food products, and again, that can be a hard one to identify because there's several different names for salt. It's not always gonna say salt, but sea salt, you guys know what that is. It's derived from the sea, dried up, and there you go. Tasty shit. Next one is calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is, again, it's very natural. A lot of people take calcium carbonate as a supplement, pill form. So this is put in the product, and if you look at the nutritional label, it helps the product yield 15% of your calcium as your daily value. It's not really gonna add any flavor to this product, but it does help add a little more calcium, which is nice. Y'all should be looking for your calcium there. I think people forget to pay attention to calcium, especially those in bodybuilding and fitness. You're lifting weights, you're putting your body through extreme measures. Getting enough calcium in the diet is crucial. You wanna have good bone density. You may not care about that in your 20s and 30s, but you need to, because how much calcium you supply your body through adolescence up until you're 30 years old is when your body is at its peak amount of being able to absorb calcium. From 30, it's downhill, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but it all goes downhill from there, the amount your body is capable of absorbing. So for those, if I'm catching you young enough, make sure you're looking at calcium, and this is a product that does yield 15% of your daily value for calcium needs. The next ingredient on here, actually the last two are both artificial sweeteners. First one being sucralose. So sucralose is commonly what you hear referred to as Splenda in most products. I'm sure this might yield some commentary below on the use of Splenda. However, to quickly state, if you do your research, the current studies out there done via animals and clinical-based studies, there's been over 100 done. Sucralose has been around since the late 70s. There is no evidence, it's unanimous. There is no evidence for harmful effects with use of sucralose. So again, it's extremely sweet, way sweeter than sugar. So you put this in a product and it's gonna taste way sweeter, and you don't need to use as much, say if you use sugar. And again, for the most part, it's non-caloric. So you're not gaining a lot of calories consuming this product. You're not getting the same glycemic response when you're consuming it. And again, the last ingredient on here is another sweetener. It's stevia, steviol glycosides, and in parentheses it notes that that's stevia. Stevia is derived from the stevia plant. Again, it's very sweet. Stevia is quite new on the market, believe it or not. Like I said, sucralose has been around since the 70s. We have a bit more information on sucralose. Stevia's really only been around since 2008, so that's pretty new. It's only 8 years old. That's pretty new in the world of food, but that's when it was recognized and acceptable from the FDA to use it as a food additive in products. Again, it's just helping with that extra sweetness. And if you eat these bars, you know the sweetness is on point. So that's a rundown of all the ingredients on this. If I was to do this video on another Power Bar, yeah, Power Bar is a protein bar, and something like Power Bar, it would take me an awful long time to go through the ingredient list with you and try to justify why the ingredients are all in there. Whereas with the Quest bar, I think it's pretty cut and dry. As a dietitian, I do promote eating whole foods, but at the same time, when you think about whole foods, look at the ingredients in some of the products that, yes, processed, but what are the ingredients entailed in that product? Are they from a whole natural state? Are they harmful? Do they have health benefits added to them? There's plenty of other things you can look at, and I think we're in a time in the world where everyone is on the go, and convenience is extremely appealing to anyone, even those of us that love cooking. It's very convenient. So just be mindful of that. There are some healthy options out there. I do think Quest is one of them. I could be wrong, but my personal opinion, I think Quest kind of pushed the buck a little bit with the protein companies, with the protein bars, because I think after Quest came out with their bar and the popularity rose, other bars kind of jumped on the bandwagon. So while I am saying that I think Quest has good ingredients there, I think some other protein bars did come out and try to kind of mimic the Quest bar. Just my opinion from what I've seen. I've been eating Quest bars for like 4 or 5 years, like basically since they came out. So that's just what I've noticed, which I think is great that you can have some better options with protein bars, because the reality is folks are busy and we're gonna wanna eat them. They're awesome for traveling and things like that. So yeah, that was my ingredient down and dirty review of a Quest bar. I do, as a dietitian, think it's absolutely great to use this product if you need to within your diet. Still recommend getting most of your food from whole food, but this is a great addition to your diet if you're struggling to get in protein, you're struggling to get in fiber, you're struggling to get in calcium. It's a nice little like macro package with your protein, carbs, and fat. So I think it's great to have with you on the go in case you need something like that. So hope you guys enjoyed this. It's not really a review, but just this video. If you guys found this helpful, please give it a like, hit that like button, because it lets me know if you guys like these videos. Comment below if you do want more of these videos where I actually go down and dirty with the ingredients and review them for you. And let me know below if you have a favorite Quest bar, if you do like them. My top 2 are s'mores and cookie dough. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep checking back for more.